Hello, students. This is the part 2 of the chapter Economic Development. In this chapter, we are going to discuss about the methods of allocation of resources. How do we allocate resources? Different countries, different systems have different methods of allocation of resources. And if we observe these countries, we keep in mind India, US, Russia, China, we'll come to know and we'll be able to identify different uh, system or methods of allocation of resources. Normally there are three methods of allocation. In your book they have mentioned first two, and then they have mentioned the last one, the mixed economy. uh, Market system, socialist system, and mixed economy. Now this mixed economy, the name itself suggests that uh, it has got the good points, or positive things from market system and socialist system both. So first we'll see market system. Now market mechanism, the name itself suggests market. Now when can we call anything a market? When there is buying or selling going on. When do we buy anything or when do we sell anything? When there is profit kept in mind. Any shopkeeper, anyone will sell the product only when there is a profit. So it is capital oriented system. That's why the other name of this market system is capitalist system also. So only the profit is kept in mind. As I told you, profit is kept in mind. So allocation is done on the basis of profit. When there is profit, allocation is done, or exchange is done, or production is done. Market is completely free in this system. There are no restriction on the market. You will buy anything when you think that this product and the price I can afford. The shopkeeper will sell the product only when he gets the profit. So there is no restriction. Nobody is compelled to buy, nobody is compelled to sell. No government interference is there. It is also known as free economy because there is complete freedom. Competition plays vital role in this system. Now why competition plays vital role in this system? You have to understand. There are so many producers, there are so many manufacturers. Now you want to sell your product. So you are going to you know make the product in such a way that you attract consumers. You will sell the product in the price where the consumers will be able to buy the product. So competition makes the or improves the quality of the production. Owners invents Owners invent different ways to increase their profit. Now people are always looking for profit in this market. That's why they increase the working capacity. Now how do we increase the working capacity? By introducing mechanization, shift system, factories, faster machines, cheaper raw material. All these things will increase the working capacity and finally will increase the profit. Then people will, the manufacturer, producers will be tempted to do research so that they can earn more profit. So new methods of productions are also created. So this system has got profit, which encourages all these inventions and discoveries and research and you know factory system and all. So production of maximum resulting into fast economic development. So maximum things are produced, and the countries which have market mechanism system, they develop faster. And as I told you, the invisible hand of competition. Now here, not only competition but earning profit. That competition, invisible hand of competition, controls the whole market. So it is self balancing, and it is, you know you don't have to have rules and regulations over here. So competition makes everything possible. Now, features of market mechanism. I have already explained you, but still we'll go by the book. And features of market mechanism. Ownership of resources of production is either individual or private. Now, government does not own anything. Land, factors of production. Last video I have told you, land, capital, labor, all these things are owned by individual. Government doesn't interfere. Profit is at the center. That's why it is known as market mechanism. Markets come to come into existence because of profit. So market mechanism, there is profit. So profit is at the center. Consumers get good opportunity of choice. So there are so many choice you have. There are so much of production, varieties are there, and because of that, because of the competition, you get good opportunity of choice. So consumers are benefited over here. No government interference. This is the most important feature of market mechanism. Economic decisions are taken keeping in mind price mechanism. Now price mechanism, again, prices are related to market, and market is again related to profit. So all this things, all the entire economy is run by the profit. Now which countries have this market mechanism? US is the you know it is the birthplace of market mechanism. It is also called capitalist country. Second is Japan, and Western European countries follow this market mechanism. And this system has, you can if you know, all most of the inventions are done in these countries. Most of the mechanization, most of the automation, most of the factories, most of the the cars, faster transportation, all these things are invented or discovered in these countries. So market mechanism has got, and we can see the progress of these countries. But with this, market mechanism, let's see the benefits of market mechanism system. Economic freedom. You are free to decide, you know, anything, how you want to produce, how you want to sell, what you want to do, where you want to work. Nobody forces you. Resources of production are utilized to the greatest extent and efficiency. Because you want to earn more profit, you do not waste resource, and you make use of the resources to the greatest. Abundant production may be done. You can see these days capitalism, many things are produced. You have so many things produced because the manufacturers want to earn again profit. New explorations, discoveries, inventions are done. We have already discussed this. Quality improves because of competition. Now you want to sell your product, so you have to be better than others. So you try to improve your quality. You want to satisfy the customers. So competition provides better quality to the customers or consumers. But there are limitations of market mechanism. Basic requirement is neglected or reduced. Now if you think of welfare of poor people, nobody is ready to do that, because in market system, what do we keep in mind? Profit. So when it comes to take care of the poor people or the people who do not have enough money, their buying capacity is less, these people are neglected. Only profit is kept in the center. Now, simple things, day to day things are not produced. Only the luxurious or expensive things are produced to earn more profit. And when the governments don't interfere in the matters, resources are wasted. Okay. When you don't have a control over the companies, manufacturers, they may end up wasting the resources or overutilizing the resources. Now, owing to all these things, there, uh, you know, some more points are there. Consumers are exploited or cheated. These days, you see people do not give you enough information. They try to cheat you, they try to tempt you to buy things, and finally, you end up being cheated. You feel like cheated or exploited. Okay, this is the most important limitation of market mechanism. Centralization of property and wealth is observed. Only a few companies own the resources. If you see the Indian market, we are not following the market mechanism system, we are following the mixed economy. But still, there are some companies who are selling from salt to petroleum, big machines to small machine. Even they sell groceries. You can see, I won't don't like to give names of some of the companies, but most of there are companies, they sell most of the items. So centralization of property and wealth is observed. So rich get richer and poor get poorer. That means it increases the disparity of income. Monopoly, economic instability, exploitation of labor, etc. witness. Monopoly means only one producer or few producers are there. So they will exploit the market by increasing the price, and you don't have any other option, and you will have to buy the things from there. So all these things are limitations of market mechanism. Just opposite to market mechanism system, evolved a system called socialist system. It originated because of limitations and failures of market system. It is exactly the opposite of capitalist or market mechanism. Here, individual decisions are not taken. economic decisions are taken by the state. State means over here government. State owns all the resources of production, so no private ownership. Entire economy is managed by the state. Everything, all the decisions pertaining to production, investment, distribution, etc., taken after keeping in mind the requirement of the society. Now, let me tell you about this socialist system. On paper, this system is the best, but in reality, it is the worst. So here they say that requirement of the society is kept in mind, requirement of the people is kept in mind. Features of socialist system. First, resources are owned by state. You don't own anything. Economic decisions are taken by state. All the decisions are taken by state. Social welfare, not the profit, is at the center. So they say that socialist system, they keep in mind the social welfare, so there is no profit in the center. Laborers are paid wages in return of the work. So they are paid wages, they don't have any profit or nothing. So there is equality. Countries like Russia and China used to follow this socialist system. This socialist system evolved in Russia actually, and I have written over here that they used to follow socialist system because now they no longer follow the socialist system. They are very well capitalist, and you can see their trade. You can see China's trade with other countries. You can see China's trade with India. They are so aggressive. They are more capitalist than US. So they used to follow socialists. In the production, in the exploitation of the laborers, they are like socialist. Benefits of socialist system. As I told you, benefits are there, but they are there on paper. Actually, this kind of benefits, this kind of idealism is never seen in real life. Production is done keeping in mind the requirement of the society. So who owns the resources over here? Who decides? State decides. So think that your you know electronic gadgets, your clothes, your shoes, your colors of your clothes, everything is decided by a politician or a bureaucrat or an officer in the in government office. How would you feel? Okay, so requirement is kept in mind, but the decisions are taken by someone who is not capable of taking that decision. Unimportant and luxurious items are not produced. Only the items which are useful for the people are produced. That means basic requirement: food, clothing, other things, whichever is required. So there is no fashion, there is no variety, there are no innovations. So it becomes very boring. Decisions related to productions are taken by states, so wastage of resources is not there. But states means governments are known for their useless and foolish decisions. Disparity of income and property is removed. There is no disparity, so there is no competition also. So people are not encouraged to do innovations, to search research new things. This is a good thing. There is no disparity, but it kills encouragement. Consumers are not exploited. You are not buying or selling anything, so you are never exploited. Now, as while giving you the benefits, I have already discussed with you the limitations, but still, let's say, as the resources of production are owned by the state, there is no encouragement. As I told you, there is no encouragement and motivation to increase production. You can see the example of private bank and government bank. These are the examples you can follow. If you go to private bank, they are forced to work, they are forced to serve the consumers. For them, consumer is like god. But if you go to a government bank, lethargic attitude is seen. If you see the private schools and if you see the government school, these days government schools are also you know working very hard. They are giving good education. But earlier, earlier the education in government and private schools were different. So if you go to a government department, you can see the characteristics of socialist system. And if you go to a private department, and you will see the you know service, quality of service in uh, uh, capitalism or market mechanism system. There is no competition or contest, so no research take place. Lack of individual freedom, the main point. You are not free. You are well fed, you are given money, but when there is no freedom, freedom is the most important thing. Procrastination is seen because of bureaucracy. So state takes all the decision, and because of that there is lack of swiftness, agility. Decision making is very lethargic, and because of that the production and other economic decisions are taken late, or they are not taken properly. Now, because of the failure of socialist system and limitations of capitalist system, there evolved a system called mixed economy. In the previous video, I had told you dual economy. In India, you will find this system dual economy. There will be the presence of private sector also and government sector also. Now, where this private sector and government sectors work? Private sector works when it comes to profit making, and when it comes to welfare of the people, government takes over. So this kind of dual economy is there. You can see in railways, you can see in you know hospitals, you can see this in education systems. So whenever there is welfare of the people is concerned, government school, government hospitals, primary health centers, railway, all these areas are run by government. And when there is private schools, private hospitals, private transportation, airways, wherever there is the chance of making money, profit, private sectors take over. So you can witness in India this dual economy. In that way, I have already told you that mixed economy is followed in India. Okay, let's see the features of mixed economy. Public and private sectors coexist. They both are there. Both do not work as competitor. They are not competitors. They are actually complementary to each other. They help each other. There is individual or private ownership in agriculture, trade, small consumer goods, industries. You own your house, you own your car, you can buy land, you can produce anything you want to produce. All this freedom is there. But certain things you cannot do in mixed economy. Like basic industries, like heavy industries, defense material, railways. Now government is trying to sell railway also, but railways, electricity, roads, irrigation, are owned by the state. Why they are owned by the state? Because if you now roads are already privatized, you know, you can see the toll booths everywhere. But if you know, if you think, if you irrigation, if they privatize this, what would happen? Just like the roads, you have to pay, toll tax over there. Irrigation, this is the basic necessity. So that's why private owners or private manufacturers are not allowed in irrigation and other places. But these days you can see privatization in railway also. Electricity is, all the boards are sold already. So MGVCNL, Madhya Gujarat Wijj Limited company, they already privatized this. Defense also, these days they are trying to sell the defense also to private companies. You must have heard, if you read the newspaper, you will come to know, government is trying to sell different projects to private companies. So you can see both private and public sector in mixed economy. Market is not completely free. There are controls over the market. That's why this economy is also named as controlled economy. Government controls the economy through taxes and restrictions. Taxes plus restriction. So, uh, some things which are not, desirable, they, tax it heavily. So to reduce its sell and production, and where they want to increase the production, in the same way, industries are encouraged by giving subsidies or relaxation in tax. Countries like India, France, England follow mixed economy. Now, mixed economy is not like an engine. Okay, there is no fault in it. There are, you know, limitations to mixed economy also. We can see that in India, economic instability. There is no consistency. Government changes, and the economic policy which was followed also keep on changing. Lack of coordination. There are different departments. I'll give you a very simple example. The road transportation department builds the road, and next day the electricity department will come and dig it up. So this is very simple example, but there are so many other examples that there is lack of coordination between the departments. Inconsistency or inconsistent economic policy, just like instability, there is inconsistent economic policy. With the changing of governments, with the changing of ideology, this doesn't remain the same. It remains the same in capitalist or social system, but here things keep on changing. And because of that, because of all these things, low rate of economic development is seen. Earlier we used to have 7 to 8% growth rate in GDP, but these days after lockdown it has gone to, less than 3 or 4, I think. And government will never publish uh, you know all this data. So we follow mixed economy. But for capitalism and for socialist system, I must say that there is no perfect capitalist system or market mechanism, or there is no perfect socialist system. So these days, most of the countries, they follow the mixed economy, and you know some or the other way they try to control the economy of the country. I hope you have understood this chapter nicely. I already uploaded a text file to explain you all these things in Word file. I already sent to your WhatsApp group. I want you to read the chapter once again and go through the video thoroughly, and after that write all the question answers at the end of the chapter, as well as the question answers which I have already given you in the WhatsApp group. Thank you very much.